Ethan Bell is a Wallabalooa man from the Ngunnawal Nation. He's a poet. This is his dog Cleo, which we decided it was better to have Cleo on the stage and quiet rather than outside. So Cleo is going to accompany Ethan. Now Ethan's here as a poet. He explores the art of storytelling and what that means for Indigenous men. I'm just going to read a quote from Ethan. Not just our dreaming stories, but the way in which we can spin a yarn with anyone about anything. Our lives, our homes, the way we see the world. A splinter of silver rests on the end of our tongues that is a remnant of our old people's way of telling yarns. We still carry it with us everywhere we go. Please welcome Ethan Bell.
I'd like to pay my respects to the Gadigal people who, I'd like to, thank the Gadigal people and the custodians for still looking after this beautiful country that I get to work on. I've met a lot of people, great people from out this way, and I'm blessed to be here under these skies. So I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people who are traditional custodians of this land that we meet on, and extend that welcome to everyone today. So this is my dog Cleo. She's first time she's ever been up on stage with me, which is pretty cool. I didn't think this would be happening. I guess storytelling as part of my culture is a huge part of our culture. But I'm talking more about contemporary storytelling. I have a lot of good friends, uncles, cousins, who are just gifted storytellers, and we can stand around in a circle at night or whatever and just spin ghost stories, or just tell yarns. It's a good way it's an outlet for us, the way we can tell yarns, and the way we come. Sometimes it's like, trying to top each other. But I guess, storytelling for Indigenous men is different for everyone. But for me, being a Ngunnawal fella, in this day and age, contemporary society, it still carries the same significance as holding those stories. Like our contemporary stories, the yarns we tell are still memories of place, they're still memories, stories and of our histories, and of what it's like for us, talking as black men in this world, like Kooris from the East Coast. So I have a few poems here that are I'll just read them, and I'll just maybe say a little bit about them. Some of them I've performed before, one of them I haven't. This is the first one. So this poem, mental health is a big thing for everyone. It's stigmatised, no one really talks about it as much as we should. So a friend asked me to write a poem for his anthology, and it's about mental health. It hasn't been released yet, so I can't say too much about it. Here's my poem. It's called The Countdown. The Countdown. I know it ain't supposed to be, but I hurt the ones who get close to me. I ask that you pity not this deflated soul, for when this lonely world has taken its toll, I will return to a starlight that shines bright in the night sky, or maybe just a madman shilling my own luxuries to all passers-by. I shall return to orange, brown, grey, like a cold winter's day, or to a gentle summer's breeze cooling a flushed red cheek. I count that beauty surrounds me with each aching breath, yet when I embrace the morning sun, all that I am is awaiting death. I must confess another thing. I fear my friends are lying in the wind. As the tree sap dries, I hold on to the lies, the fear, the anger, the hurt, the pain. I remain trapped in my broken heart and fear that forever I will remain. So yeah, that's a little. I started from the. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, that's my first poem. Countdown. This is a poem I performed at MCA. I'm trying to remember if it was last year or this year. We just had a daughter. Yeah, November last year. Thanks, Clive. Yeah, so November last year I performed this at the MCA. And, so yeah, here it is. It's two poems. I have them together because they kind of go together, but they're two separate poems. I would betray the world before the world betrays me. I'd rather untie the knot calmly, the knot we call society, than grasp for it with raw chafing hands. I would clear my throat, able to speak my own existence, wiping the tears falling from my father's face, so he can wipe the tears from his. My blood will be free, never blowing with the wind like a sea taken by its breeze, never letting the currents of history flow over me and my people's story. There is a hole in my abdomen, dark as void, dripping constellations of stars, leaving my stomach to rumble as the thunder does. It's my culture I hunger for. It is for her that I first, driving my toe into country, like rain hitting dirt. I search for my shadow on silver screens, videos of brothers fighting brothers, hustling as their only queen, tagging up lines of TFC, and indoctrinated identity. Picking through piles of steel and concrete, midden shells, stinking of rust, a poem from my grandfather's country, a cultural object connected to us. Wallabalooa land, where millions circle the crimson red sky, while the sun sets overhead. Here we stand, proud Ngunnawal men, fishing on our riverbed. And the Murray cod scales, they're as dark as an emerald stone. And like Ngunnawal men, they cut down the river track, returning to a place they call home, connecting to their blood and bone. Thank you. So I guess, yeah, the poem 11, it's kind of talking about searching for identity, or yeah. So like as I was writing, I was kind of having that journey. Yeah, thinking about my culture. And Wallabalooa land, the second poem there, is kind of yeah. So there's kind of like a disconnection with the first poem, but then it goes into the new poem, the Wallabalooa land, where I talk about the country where I'm from, and you know, where we've all been down on holidays and been fishing as a family and having laughs and stuff, and just talk about that. We still have that connection as well. This is my last poem. It was the last poem that I've ever, the most recent poem that I've been performing. I performed it for Rivers, for the Sydney Biennale, at the MCA, and it's called Political Waters. I'll say this, I was reflecting on where I'm from. I live in Campbelltown, southwest Sydney, a place called Addi. It's currently going through gentrification, and yeah, it was like our little home, our little community, and now it's changed a hell of a lot. And I guess I'm just talking about that place and what it means to me. I'm loving my dog's backups. Political waters. Waters have always flowed naturally with time. Politics will forever flow from our tongues. Down by the river where I live, is a black panther, shy by nature, used to waiting from up high. Shy by nature, used to waiting from up high, defeating the sandstone caves and only travelling to town at night and only when it rains. If seen, it is only for a glimpse, like heat rising, like a shadow catching the morning light. The black panther slips away. Tricky fella she is, feathers cover her tracks. Tricky fella he is, scar trees mark his place. There is also a roo, wearing a charcoal coat, with eyes like embers. Turn, young fella, run. You came down to the river valley with a troubled heart. Be gone. Return to where you are from. Tell your people what you found, and sing up a deadly storm. Down by the river where I live is a water gun, sprouted long ago, back when time begun. White rushing waters have risen well above its crown. 1,000 floods have stormed the sea. Yet tomorrow, when you come back, when the waters have calmed, it stands proud, at peace. The waters here are clear and blue, the same as a Mount Franklin bottle. Sometimes you see the fish gliding through and hear the cockatoos above curiously watching from their hollows. But don't you come here, or the panther will drive you. The roo will stomp its feet with a heavy thud. Trees will kick up dust, and the cockatoos above are imagining trespassing blood. How can I speak of water without being political, cynical, put out? Just a voice lost in the Sydney Zoo, drowning in the overflow of noise and steel and silent concrete, of posture and reflective structures, of lonely trams and trains, of everyday living people with blood coursing through their veins. Political waters I tread when my mind won't cease, down to the river I go to find my inner peace. Thank you.